Just the details of things from an offensive standpoint, just trying to be a lot more clean. We had, too many miscues in the game. And then obviously Johnny Davis played really well, and our inability to stop him. They have a very good team. I thought Voigt, if I'm saying his name correctly, came in and really played well. They battled some foul trouble with their other guys. But I like their guard play. I like their defense. They've been able to out-tough some people for some wins here in the past couple of weeks where they haven't played as great offensively, and that's what good teams do. They rebounded the ball, up in Minnesota. They did a great job there. They really gutted out a victory against Rutgers, getting some extra possessions there. But I like their team. They're well coached. They're tough. They're resilient. They got some shot makers. They got one of the best players in the country. But for us, we have to have quality possessions on the offensive end. And when I watched that tape, we just didn't have enough quality possessions. We were too loose with the basketball. And sure, there's other areas of concern, but there's certain things that after you've played almost a whole season that you can control. And that's why I probably emphasize that more than anything, because I feel we can control that.
Just adding up all these road experiences, at what point does this help you in a situation like Tuesday?
Well, I think for us, and this is what I told our guys, is like whether they call fouls or they don't call fouls, you're doing the same thing at times too. So don't take yourself out of the equation. So the reason you fouled isn't you're getting fouled. And that sometimes happens with us, especially with Zach. Zach's the only guy that I think unfairly gets a poor whistle. He gets a poor whistle. They have not done a good job of officiating him. They've been very inconsistent with that. I'm not looking at any other things. When Jaden gets out into space and he gets by people and they're checking him, or they're calling those fouls because it's out in space in the World Season. Inside on the interior, it's a little bit harder, but it can't make you go and foul then. You can't use that, seventh grade logic that since they fouled you, you're allowed to foul them. That doesn't work in the game of basketball. So we've really tried to get them to be able to play through things, understand things. And your 10th road game in conference, it's been a consistent theme. That's what, hey, this is the way it is. It's the way it's been for 100 years. Play through these things and be above it. But it gets back to don't turn the basketball over and take good shots, and good things will happen for us. And that's what we have to do. That's what we have to stick with from an offensive standpoint.
Just including Johnny Davis and everything, all of Wisconsin as a team, they do a good job of just not turning the ball over.
Yes.
Very good, efficient on the offensive end of the court. What can you guys do to just kind of make everyone uncomfortable, I guess,
right.
Not just specifically?
Well, you want to
Davis.
be able to disrupt them. You got to have active hands. They're going to be fundamentally sound. They're going to move the basketball. Obviously, they play off of him. They play off of Brad Davison. But Tyler Wall's a vastly improved player that's very in between to where he can drive the ball. He can post you up. Stephen Kroll has made some huge plays down the stretch. Had a big basket against Minnesota. Can hit a timely three against you. Voigt got on the offensive glass against us. So they have some good players. Chucky Hepburn is one of the best freshmen in our league, who's a good on-ball defender, can make pull-ups, can make plays. He's going to be a all-conference level player, and you can kind of go right down the line. But they have a good team across the board. They have a good defensive team, but their ball control really helps their defense because they get good shots, they take care of the ball, they don't turn it over. All the things that you're trying to do, they do it.
Is that why they're really good at close games as well? They've got 14 straight games they've won.
Yeah,
6 points.
Yeah, it's very uncanny to be able to do that. The way they play late in games is the way they play the whole game. They'll take, if you're going to give them stuff, they'll take things in transition. People look at them like they don't look to attack. They do look to attack. But if you're good at getting back and you're setting your defense or whatever, the way they're playing and the way they're executing with 14 minutes to go in the game is the way they play with a minute to go in the game. And so it's nothing different at the end of the game. You want to put the ball in your best player's hands, but you still want to be able to get an efficient shot, and they do a really good job of that. And they create a lot of extra possessions for themselves by the way they crash the offensive glass and get extra, possessions.
How much do you talk to your team about the stakes of this game?
Oh, they know the stakes of this game. They know what it means, and so we've talked about talking about it when we put ourselves back in position after we won 6 straight after going 4-3. That was more the conversation at that time. Now let's really chip away at this and put ourselves in a position right here. So you got 2 games to play, and you got a chance to win the Big Ten championship. And so, like, guys they're very cognizant of that.